Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
It's Matty and Patty, coast to coast. Welcome to the Cleveland Sports Hour. We are two self-aware but unapologetic homers who spend far too much time watching, reading, and thinking about the Cavs and the Tribe and not so much the Browns. So if you like the informed, intelligent Cleveland fans' perspective on all things, you have come to the right place. In New York, this is world champion Pat McManaman. From San Francisco, I'm joined by fellow world champion Matt Younger. Say hello, champion.
Hello, champ. How are you?
Now,
a little pep in our step today, huh?
A little pep in our step. We haven't potted this frequently. This is twice in 1 week, 2 Sundays in a row. We haven't done this since the finals, I think, right?
I think you're right.
Oh
my God,
this isn't. Why are we doing this, Matt?
This is very exciting times, Patty. Something happened.
Something big happened.
Something good happened.
Something unexpected. As you and I, we were at the point last week, our diagnosis was straight up just changing the DJ.
Diagnosis murder.
Diagnosis murder. As to what could fix the Cavs. Our only hope was changing the DJ. And then Kobe Altman went and totally redeemed himself.
Oh, my God.
Wow. Did not see that coming.
Yeah. Now, maybe we temper our enthusiasm, Patty, or are we just going with this?
There's plenty of time to do that, Matty. But let's not start out of the gate with tempering enthusiasm. That's not how you
to
the podcast. We got to get people excited about this.
I'm willing to be unbridled in my enthusiasm.
I need you to be a little unbridled for the moment. But the way that rolled out, I remember seeing the first trade being like, oh, nice. We got rid of IT. That's amazing. And, I like Nance. And, Clarkson's supposed to be pretty good, isn't he? That's a good piece. And I kept reading about how neither of them shoot threes. And I kept, reading more. And I started to get a little bit nervous about, I hated to lose Fry. That was a bummer. Although I loved his Instagram on the way out.
Classic Fry.
If you go 0-6, trade your ass. But, yeah, and just as I was trying to figure out whether I liked that trade or not, all of a sudden I saw that there had been 2 more trades, and all of a sudden we had Rodney Hood and George Hill join too. It was nuts. I couldn't even keep track of it.
No, it was insane. I actually was in a meeting, Patty, on Thursday at the beginning of the day here. Nothing had happened. I was totally incommunicado for an hour and a half, and I came out and the whole fucking world had blown up.
6 players traded in one day. The last time that had happened was in 2008 with, do you know who did that trade?
Who were we in 2008? Was that Chris Grant?
Yeah. Oh, no. It was
Danny Ferry?
Danny Ferry and the Cavs trading for
that was when Ben Wallace came in and Wally Zerbiak. And
yep.
Larry Hughes went out. Danielle Marshall went out. I can't even remember who else we got in those deals.
That was wild. Another one of those buyer's remorse trades that kind of turned.
I was furious about that trade. I remember.
Yeah, well, because you hate Ben Wallace, and I do too. But
hated Ben Wallace,
but it helped us at the time. So, I don't know. Well, listen, we had a nice big test today against the Celtics. Again, it's one game. The best part of games like these is that we were all expecting, nothing, right? It's the first time all 4 of these new players that came in played. We weren't expecting anything big. And
Patty, sorry to interrupt.
I'm sorry.
The Ben Wallace trade we were just referencing, you know who else we got in that?
Who else?
Joe Smith is one, but a certain Delonte West also came over in that deal.
Which one? Was it Delonte West in that trade?
Yeah.
He was the best part of that trade. Oh, man, he was wonderful. I love that guy. That's an all-time Cav for me. And sort of
Yeah, I don't know. We traded Larry Hughes, Drew Gooden, Cedric Simmons, who I don't really remember, Shannon Brown, who we definitely remember, and Ira Newble and Danielle Marshall.
Ira Newble. Oh, man, you remember Ira Newble. You met Ira Newble.
I know. I hung out with Ira Newble. Told me I talked too loud.
Somebody on Twitter was going on with all-time Cavs lineups.
I saw that.
Cavs being the natural autocorrect mistake when you type in Cavs.
Yeah.
And he did not have Ira Newble in starting five, which I thought was crazy. He had Anthony Parker in there.
No.
Parker was useful.
Yeah, that's not accurate at all.
That was outrageous. Couldn't believe that.
I couldn't disagree more.
Anyway, so we're going to start with a quick reaction to the Cavs Celtics game today, followed by an analysis of the thermonuclear trade bomb dropped by Kobe Big Balls Altman. I'm dubbing him. I don't know if this is very catchy or not, but
it's not. But go with it.
Well, we got to do something, right? He's deserved the nickname, wouldn't you say?
I don't know. His name's Kobe.
That's true. All right, so you caught the second half of that game. That was probably the best part. How'd you?
I don't know. The first half seemed like it was all right, other than LeBron getting hurt.
Yeah, well, it was just just game ding. That was just Achilles being nicked.
Oh, nothing major then.
He just rubbed some dirt on it, went back out there.
Mm-hmm. It was what a difference, huh?
Woo.
Even the Atlanta game was you felt the change, right?
Exactly. I mean, yes, it was Atlanta. They stink, but Teddy, man, But I say I haven't hooted like that during a Cavs game in a long time, and that's my preferred reaction to embarrassing plays that the Cavs do that just obliterate the other team. Just monster dunks.
Oh, yes. Shout out to Skylar Schmidt on those.
Yeah, for sure. That's very good. So we all.
I mean, he's the originator of that move.
Yes. Full credit to Skylar. Man, it's a great way. It's a great sound to make during a game.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Much better than
it's amazing, and it's amazing out in public too.
Yes. Although, no shout out Crowder Chowder in Boston was pretty good.
That's true. This is true.
No, that's the crazy thing about this trade, right? I mean, even before they arrived, as you said, the Atlanta game, the most noticeable thing you see about this team is not so much the new players. We'll talk about them in a second, but the old Cavs are back, right?
Yeah.
LeBron has been a different person since he heard about the trades coming, right?
Yep.
He had to jump in his step, but JR, we had old JR back today.
He looked great.
Back and forth. He had a monster dunk, killing what's that white
Aaron Baines.
Aaron Baines, yeah, that white nationalist Aaron Baines. I can say that, right?
He's Australian,
Come on, don't we know that's a hotbed of racism?
They have white nationalism down there, that's for sure. But
they do.
Ironically,
I work with many Australians who are wonderful people, but I'm sure they back me up on this.
Yeah.
And then also he had it's like the second play of the game, he got this pass in the corner, he was in full sprint, stopped in the corner on a dime, and launched a 3-pointer for good. That was old JR. Didn't even bother to look at the basket.
Yeah.
Just threw it up. He had another quick trigger 3-pointer. It was looked like he's back, and it was so great to see. He also had an amazing block where he hedged in on a pick and roll, and so the guy kicked it out to the corner, and he recovered in time to block the 3-point shot. It was amazing. It was so great to see him being back to his old self. Just amazing.
Love it.
Woo.
Absolutely love it.
And then there was my new number one crush.
Oh boy, Patty, things are happening here.
He every time I think about him, I get these butterflies in my stomach. I get real nervous. I get real excited. Cedi Osman, man, he's awesome, man. Sorry, I just did it. I went there.
You heard Van Gundy crushing on him?
Oh, I can't blame him. I mean,
I know you can't.
He's a Head and Shoulders model, for God's sake. There's gifts out there of him taking showers.
Oh, Pat, Jesus, Pat. I hope your wife doesn't know about that.
I mean, she's gonna have to be okay with it. It's just gonna be, part of our marriage now.
Yeah.
I have a crush on Cedi Osman. I don't care who knows it. I love him. Just puppy dog. I mean, even when I don't know if you probably missed this. He had this amazing steal on the open court as we're breaking things open towards the end of the second quarter. Free path to the basket, and he went up and he doinked the dunk.
Oh, I did see that.
And you know what? That just makes him so much more lovable. Come on, right?
Just slipped out of his hands a little.
You never know what's going to happen with that guy. It's just.
Did you see the quote that my brother sent us from Matt Berenger?
Oh no, what was that?
He said he's like an untamed bull. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad.
I'll take that. I mean, interesting thing about him tonight, they let him match up. It was intentional on Kyrie, one-on-one.
Oh yeah,
multiple times, and well, I mean, he acquitted himself well. Kyrie
felt like he held his own, didn't it?
He held his own. Like Kyrie beat him a few times and pulled fouls. I think he got a couple of baskets, driving the bat. But he worked hard. He clearly bothered Kyrie. Kyrie was doing a couple like extra jumpers because he was getting annoyed with like he was getting Delly annoyed, right? Remember all those camp stories of how Delly annoyed the shit out of Kyrie by actually playing really hard on him.
I do.
I think that's what Chetty was doing, and he was keeping his own. He's got good length. But you know who really did bother him was George Hill.
Yeah.
He looked good. He got a couple of steals and or at least helped force some turnovers, fighting through picks at a couple of and like that. This team, Maddie, the new guys look good.
Just a bunch of tryhards, you called them, Patty?
You know, did I call them tryhards?
I think in our rundown, you called them a bunch of tryhards.
Tryhards, yeah. But that was before I saw the game. I was like, tryhards who were actually kind of good. I mean, that's the point. My whole point is with the tryhard thing is like the Celtics are so annoying when they just try hard. They're a bunch of no talent, assholes just trying hard. These guys are actually pretty good, but they also do try. Like, and trying goes a long way, as the Celtics have shown. Man, it was so nice watching guys fight through picks. And actually,
wasn't it challenging dunks, as we said in the thread with my brother?
God, that's incredible.
Have we seen that all year?
No, I mean, guys are just dodging left and right, like don't want to be posterized. And it's like challenging dunks is not like the biggest, most important play of the game because usually you're out of position by that point, and you're just maybe going to foul, and it's going to pump them up, and you do get posterized. But like the fact that they're trying tells me they don't give a shit about that. They're just trying hard. Like, yeah, they don't care about the risk. They don't care about the embarrassment. They're trying real hard. And like that's just like that was like one of those weird like bellwether moments. Like, ooh. They are really into this. Like they're excited and happy to play with each other. That was crazy, man. Jesus.
Really a fun game, man.
One interesting dynamic I saw, I was watching on Twitter. I don't know if you saw, but they were doing a couple pick and roll actions, LeBron and Larry Nance Jr. And the Celtics would either like overcommit their guy in the perimeter to help cover on it because they didn't want the dunk. Which left the guy wide open. They gave Clarkson 2 3-pointers, 2 wide open 3-point shots. And the other one is they don't do it, and then the Larry Nance dunks all over them.
Yeah,
I was like, that's some nice action that's gonna be tough for them, especially if somebody better than Clarkson shooting. So I don't know. That got me excited about all these Cavs. But Hood had a bunch of threes, Hill had a bunch of threes, Clarkson had a bunch of threes, Nance had a bunch of dunks, and they all played really good defense.
Yeah.
Or at least like bothering defense.
Yes, trying defense, Patty.
Trying. What were other takeaways from the second half that you were able to see?
I mean, it's really just that. There's so much energy. Which is it just feels like addition by subtraction. I mean, that's how the Atlanta game felt.
Oh, completely. Like what? I mean, we didn't really add anything, right?
We played 7 guys.
7 guys. And 2 D-League players who played like 20 minutes or something.
I think only one of them. Well, yeah. Guy got in at the end, but
he played a lot.
John Holland only played a little bit. Yeah, God, I just like how bad were things?
I mean, it gets pretty bad.
Bad.
I mean, and the quotes after the game, LeBron keeps talking about effort and like just. Yeah. Selfless guys who put in the effort, like, he keeps trying to say no shade on those guys, but like I mean, there's all tons of shade on those guys. I mean, somebody was pointing out like he found a way to work in a reference in his post game interview. He's talking about how his voice is sore from calling out a lot of the defensive alignments.
Yeah, I heard that.
But he ended with like, "I need to go back and sip some tea. Got to sip some tea for this, for my throat." Like, yeah, that's well played, bro. I mean, you could tell he had that like crafted. He was.
Oh yeah,
how he could work that out and have an out. Anyway, that was great. And one thing that the game saw that I saw that was interesting right away was one of the things I want to tell you about this. We originally were planning to like pod before the game, and I was going to say I wanted to keep an eye on the length. because to me that's the key of this trade. What we have now is something I don't think we've had since LeBron came back. I don't believe that we have a player with a wingspan below 6'5".
Besides Calderon?
Yeah, and I don't count that. You're right, Calderon, but that he's not going to be in the main rotation. So in the main rotation, the main like 10 guys are going to play. Yeah. Maybe Korver. I have to look him up. Korver might be a little bit under, but he's still pretty tall. Was he 6'7"?
Mm-hmm.
You care to guess what that was last year with Kyrie? What Kyrie's wing?
By the way, I've got Korver with a 7-foot wingspan.
Woo! So yeah, 6'5". So just so you know, George Hill is 6'3", but he has a 6'5" wingspan. And I think 6'5" is Clarkson's too, but I could be wrong. I think it's pretty similar. They're both very long, rangy guys, right? So even though they're 6'3", Kyrie's also 6'3", but his wingspan is. Do you want to guess what it is?
Jordan Clarkson, 7-foot wingspan, also, Patty.
Ooh, even better. Nice.
I'm not going to look Kyrie. I'll make a real guess.
Yes.
I don't know, 6'3"?
6 foot.
What? Short arms?
Short arms?
Oh yeah, that checks with what I'm seeing here.
He's tall, but he's 6 foot wingspan, which means doesn't have long arms. He can't bother guys.
You know who else has a 6 foot wingspan?
Who?
Isaiah Thomas.
Whoa, mind blown. I mean, height goes for something, but that is weird. That makes Kyrie's finish at the rim all the more remarkable.
Such short arms. Yeah, that's odd.
Alligator arms.
Yeah.
Alligator Kyrie. So
no idea.
That to me is huge. Because remember, we used to still play a switching defense against the Warriors, and Kyrie was the weak link, and the Warriors didn't exploit him that much because it wasn't their style of play. But like, boy, he was a problem when he was matched up against DeRozan, right, in the playoffs. Like he couldn't stop. He was a problem when he was matched up against Livingston. These guys would just back him down and shoot over his head. Like any guy, Kyrie was a problem in that respect. I don't think that's going to be an issue. The first time we can switch at every single position, and we rarely will have those big matchup issues. Or at least we've minimized the matchup issues. Like Kevin Love is certainly a matchup issue for some assignments. His big man is going to be a matchup problem for some of our guards. But like we can now kind of minimize those issues, opposed to having to cover for Kyrie and for Love. So big question though is, are these guys going to be good on defense? Because they all have some sort of question marks on D a little bit. But they have all the tools, and that's something we've never had before. So that's what makes me excited about the trade for the most part.
Yeah, I agree with. I think of the Thunder team from the year before Durant left. That's what they were going for, and that team gave the Warriors all sorts of problems, as you remember. But that was their whole thing, was that they were long and rangy. Were getting their hands on a lot of balls, making the passing lanes and driving lanes real tight. Especially
because the Warriors are turnover prone, right? Achilles heels, and so we just got a bunch of guys that are known for creating turnovers. Hill, I think, is one, and I think Nance is the other. Those two guys have like way above average turnover rates in terms of causing turnovers. I think. I know for sure Nance. I thought that's what I read about Hill, but at least two of the guys we got have turnover rates. So that's something to keep an eye on. And again, the fact that we added 2 3-point shooters is big. Like we gave up Fry, but Fry was quite questionably playable, right, against certain lineups. And I miss Fry, but like we are able to turn one shooter into 2. That's huge. Plus got younger. Plus got longer. So I don't know. I'm pretty psyched about the trade so far, not just because of the game, but like these are some of the reasons I was super psyched about it early on.
It's nice. It's nice to have guys that want to be here.
Yeah, right.
There was a lot of talk about that in the post game, I think, right? About that these guys really look up to LeBron and want to play with him, and maybe Thomas and Crowder, not so much.
Yeah, because they played against him, right? They resented him. They had that chip on their shoulders. Now they're right. You don't want to, defer to him a bit.
And I don't know how much of that is really true, but I don't know.
There was so much joy on that floor.
Yeah. I caught myself thinking a lot in that game again about like how weird Kyrie is.
Yeah.
And that he gets praise from a lot of people for wanting to go out on his own and do his own thing and have his own team. And I guess. but there's also something to be said for you're walking away from a championship contender.
Yeah, that's a pretty, yeah. I mean, I guess you could. The defense people gave for him. I've always read the praise he's gotten as being people giving contrarian defensive Kyrie takes, that it is sort of bizarre and indefensible to leave a title team.
Mm-hmm.
They keep saying, well, LeBron also left the title team, right? He left the Heat for the Cavs. But the difference
or the Cavs for the Heat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, well, we hadn't been to the finals the last 2 years, so.
That's true.
That we didn't have it, right? So we hadn't proved the last 2 years. But again, LeBron was going home in particular. It wasn't just so much leaving the team.
And that Heat team was done.
It certainly was. I think that everyone kind of knew that a little bit. But anyway, I don't think Kyrie gets enough shit for the fact that he wasn't talking to anyone on the team in the playoffs last year, which we discovered after the season. I think that's a weird vibe to be dealing with. And the fact is that we kind of don't know if he's a little bit out there. We kept thinking.
I think we know he's a little bit out there.
I mean, we always assumed that he was just trolling people with the flat Earth talk. I don't even know or care if he believes in the flat Earth stuff, but this is some weird shit, dude. It acts really strange about a lot of things. That we talked about this before, the hotel story about the bed bugs.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't get more shit about that.
It's wild. So I don't know. I mean, he still is his amazing self watching him play today. But at the same time, you part of this game was the Celtics missing a lot of shots and Kyrie missing a lot of those shots that he normally makes. But I remember those Cavs games, right, where we would just be like, if Kyrie's not making these shots, we're fucked. That was our game. If he's not making those insane shots.
He also, Pat, what do you think he shot for the day? Don't look.
Ooh, I don't look. I mean, he started out really hot, but I felt like he cooled off. Oh, man, but you're right. He was already really hot, so maybe 50%, 45%?
50%. He was 7 of 14 from the field. He was 1 of 7 from 3.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So 6 of 7 outside of 3-point range. He just couldn't hit his threes today.
Yeah, I think that helps because he hits a few of those, and it's a little bit closer before he gets totally blown out. But no, the Cavs, I mean, that's the thing. We were just bothering the whole game. They did not have easy looks. Nothing looked easy for them. It was nice for a change to not see the other team have everything look easy for them. We made them work for everything. The Cavs had a lot of nice, easy passes for buckets. It was just great. I just love that shit. The other thing I want to bring up, Maddie, and I'd love to get your take on it, is it seemed to me that Kobe Altman was not just going for younger guys and holding on to that Brooklyn pick, which is looking nicer every day. Right now, I believe 1.5 games separates it from the 8th pick and the 1st pick in the draft. In terms of odds, right? Yeah, obviously, the lottery balls will determine a lot of that.
Are going to bounce where they may, but yeah, they're tied with the Magic, a game ahead of. I don't know how they're a game better than the Hawks and a game worse than the Bulls, and essentially tied with Phoenix and a half a game better than the Kings. So yeah, they're in a huge scrum.
Yeah, so we'll see how that turns out. I love that the Cavs tried to trade for Spencer Dinwiddie. I was listening to this in the Low Post podcast, the idea of trying to hey, we'll give you our first round draft pick if you give us Spencer Dinwiddie and stop winning.
Yeah,
just to make our pick a little better.
And just agree to really stop trying the rest of the way.
Yeah, exactly. I think Spencer Dinwiddie has 3 game winners for the Nets.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Bastard. Anyway, what was I going to say? He's not just going younger, not just going for maintaining the future assets and for 3-point shooting, but literally he was looking for guys who can be low usage and high efficiency.
Besides Clarkson.
Right. Clarkson being we were taking out his contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Hill's a great example of that, right? Most of his career he's been low usage, but is one of the more efficient scorers in the league because he shoots great 3 percentage and he shoots great at the rim. Good shooter in general, doesn't turn the ball over, which is huge for us because when we turn the ball over, we stress our transition defense.
Although that's a whole thing now too.
Mm-hmm. You mean
just our transition D should not be nearly as bad as it was.
True, that's true. Hood, I think, has been a bit more high usage because of the teams have been on the pass, but his game kind of fits a 3-and-D guy.
Yes, I agree with that.
He's great at shooting. He's good on defense, and so like that sounds great. I said Clarkson is a chucker, but has great length, a lot of talent. Maybe he can do something else with that. Nance might be, Tristan Thompson, but more athletic. So the idea they're targeting these guys that fit well with LeBron, as opposed to being like guys that need the ball in their hand. Like these don't need the ball. I mean, Clarkson does maybe to an extent, but most of these guys do not need the ball in their hand to be effective. Like Nance, Hood, and Hill all seem like guys that are designed to be great around LeBron, excuse me. So that makes me really feel good about this.
I think that's. I mean, what does it do for us against the Warriors? Right, like we don't have the criticism you hear is
rank the numbers, man. Rank the numbers.
We don't have a secondary ball handler to create offense, right? And that's still true for the most part. But
yeah,
we can run better than we could before.
Mm-hmm.
And we are also set up. I'm still pretty comfortable with a half-court offense that is give the ball to LeBron and take advantage of what you just said with players that mesh well with him.
Yeah, maybe they start passing more. I don't know.
in the half court, there's something to that.
I was watching so many like non-LeBron passes today. Like there was a great little moment where Nance, I think, got in trouble in the corner, and
it was with Korver that little thing.
Dumped it off, slipped the screen, and Korver hit him, and he dunked it. It was fantastic. There's a bunch of plays like that from guys who weren't LeBron, just making smart basketball plays because Nance, one of the things he's got going for him, he has a good reputation for, is a high basketball IQ.
Yes, that's definitely true.
So, oh man, it's early. No, like you said, it's just one game, but I just want to be effusive for a moment. Enjoy this because we play the Thunder on Tuesday night, so it'll be another big test and see if we can.
Wow, won't that be nice to see if we don't get blown out by 100-something points?
Isn't it nice to look forward to watching a game? I was not looking forward to
the team. I mean, that's the biggest thing is the team was getting so hard to watch.
Yeah, I stopped. I only watched them on Twitter. I was like, I've got my championship. I don't need to put up with this. I will wait.
I love the idea that you were watching them on Twitter too.
It's totally what I'm doing. I will be doing something else. I'll just check on my Twitter feed, read a few funny things, and go, no, done.
Watching on Twitter, though, is that turn of phrase makes me laugh.
Well, thank you. You can use that. You have my permission. All right, so I want to ask you a new question as we wrap up here a little bit. So if we were to revisit the Kyrie trade now, I love playing this game when you start add up all the subsequent trades, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's basically now. Correct me if I'm wrong. We basically traded Kyrie, Shump, Channing Frye, and our own first-round pick for George Hill, Rodney Hood, Larry Nance, Jordan Clarkson, Ante Zizic, and the Brooklyn 2018 first-round pick.
I think that's right.
Because Rose and Wade are minimum contracts. We also traded them, but we didn't have them at the time of the Kyrie trade. So you feel better about that trade than you did the August trade?
Like, this is hard. This is hard to answer now because of how bad Crowder and Thomas were, right?
Right. But at the time, everyone was really psyched about the Isaiah Thomas trade, right?
Really psyched?
You and I think came out pretty strongly against saying just don't trade Kyrie. Like you just don't trade him. Like
and I think I saw, as I remember, I sort of had like this is maybe we made the best of a bad hand here.
Yeah.
Psyched, I don't think so. So I feel better about this now. If you had told me then that's the deal we're gonna make.
Yeah, well, I guess
I don't know that I would have felt great about. You're trading a superstar for a poo-poo platter, sort of, right?
I would have felt terrible.
And the pick.
That's true. That is true. If I had my choice between these trades in August, I might. I don't know. I might talk myself into the Hill, Hood, Nance, and Clarkson thing just because of the length issues.
Right.
My biggest problem with the Isaiah Thomas trade was I don't care if he's good. We can't beat the Warriors with Isaiah Thomas as one of our big three. That was my attitude. Like, he's going to play tons of minutes. He's going to be a huge liability. We aren't a good defensive team to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, my big complaint against that. But yeah, it wouldn't have been psyched. But like now, I don't know that I hate the Kyrie trade as much. That's my question to you.
I certainly hate it less than I did a week ago.
Yeah.
Right? But if you think about our team now and what we have going into next year and just the young core that could be there, plus the pick.
Yeah, would you rather have Kyrie, Shump, Fry, and our own, first rounder, or would you rather have these guys in the Brooklyn pick? I think I still say Kyrie personally.
Yeah, I think you got to still say Kyrie, right?
Just because he's incredible.
He's that good.
He's that good. Watching how easy he gets those buckets next to LeBron. I don't know. I still feel like we had some bad bounces in those finals, and we could have been much tighter in that series than it was.
Yes, I don't think we win that one, but
I don't think we do either.
It's not as bad as it looked.
It seemed, and I think we could have come back stronger this year with another year with that team together. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't feel that bad about this because I like the puncher's chance with these young, long, rangy guys. That look, if Ty Lue can earn his salt now, I don't know. I like our underdog chance now. Kind of excited about it. But yeah, so I guess we're agreed. Still Kyrie by a hair, but I'm surprised it's by a hair.
Yeah, I think you still want. Again, this is tough to. Kyrie's hurt my feelings at this point, so it's hard for me to evaluate him honestly. But yeah, I feel a whole lot better.
Absolutely, right?
A whole lot. It's just fun. Like you said, at least it's going to be fun watching games now.
Yeah, I'm excited about the playoffs now. I was not excited last week.
No, scared.
At the end of the day, I really can't believe we got George Hill and Rodney Hood. Possible. I knew Rodney Hood was sort of on the market, but I didn't know we could get him for what we got him for. Nance wasn't even on my radar. And at first I was like, what do we have room for him? We also have T. Doesn't he kind of fill the same role TT has? It's like, no, he plays they have very similar traits, but like he plays a different game.
Yeah, I agree.
Game. And I'm really excited about it. Having two big guys like that can switch in the perimeter, that's really fucking cool. That's a really versatile lineup that we've got. And again, we talked about it, I think, on WhatsApp. It's interesting to see what this lineup's going to be. When Kevin Love comes back, it looks like they decided to keep Hood in the second unit, and that's what they want to do. Just to have, I think they want to pair Hood with Clarkson, is my guess. So he's surrounded by shooters, Clarkson, Hood, and Korver. But so Chetty's in the starting lineup for now, and I think Chetty will be swapped out for Love when he comes back. And then where does Chetty go? Like that'll be interesting. They basically 11. We have 11 really playable guys on this.
Yeah, and I think God, how much do we trust Ty Lue to sort that?
I don't know. I think the interesting thing comes down to Jeff Green, Chetty, and Nance. I think right. Those are the three that'll be fighting for the last spot. Maybe Clarkson. If Clarkson's not doing great, and maybe we can
Korver against certain teams.
Maybe, man, his 3-point shooting though.
I know.
Someone's pointing out like he tries really hard on defense, and boy, his defense is not his bad defense is not as noticeable when he's surrounded by a bunch of young, long guys who are really good at defense, right? I think
that's definitely true.
That's the whole thing. When you have this many guys like this, it makes the few weak spots easier to protect against.
Totally agree with that.
So, man, it's exciting because they weren't switching everything. They were fighting through picks. That was interesting. They were like, no, I'm sticking to it. Like, I'm not going to switch. I'm going to fight through this pick. And, like, that just opens up a lot of possibilities on defense. So, I'm very excited about this. I'm really excited about the defense and the length. This is going to be fun to watch. And I can't wait for Tuesday night, man.
Pat, I think we're going to be potting again.
I think we will. This is not just breathe. This trade did not just breathe new life into the podcast. I'm sorry. I just blew
it. You blew it.
Blew it. Did not just breathe life into the Cavs. It blew life in the podcast. Oh,
there you go.
Oh, sorry, I got there eventually. All right. Anything else to add, Maddie, for our short, fast, instant pod?
No, that's it. It's just it's nice, man. It feels good.
Feels
I'm excited to watch this team. Let's see him give the Thunder a good go on Tuesday and go into the All-Star break and I don't know, get some practice time together and have a life coming out of the second half.
Wow,
What's Altman's quote? This team felt like they were on a death march, and I didn't want to be a part of that. I didn't really want to be a part of it either. I'm glad to be off that train. Whatever happens, at least it'll be fun.
I'm with Kobe on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Jesus Christ, man. We didn't think about the best part of today's game. The best part of today's fucking game.
Shitting all over Paul Pierce Day?
God damn it, yes.
Yeah.
This is Paul Pierce's night, and they made the inexplicable decision to hold his ceremony, his retirement ceremony, which he bitched and moaned about because Isaiah Thomas wanted to have his tribute during the same game. They chose to hold it after the game. Yeah. All those motherfuckers had to sit courtside for a horrible blowout and sit through it with their mopey-ass faces while we ruined Paul Pierce's retirement night.
Did you see all the shots of LeBron just staring daggers at Garnett and Rondo and those guys?
It was great. Yeah. Oh, man, that was great.
Did you see that Windhorst quote where he was like, having spent time with ESPN with Paul Pierce now, he's told me a lot about how crazy Kevin Garnett's trash talk was for LeBron. And LeBron has the longest memory of anybody that I know.
Apparently, Kevin Garnett gave him a hug after the game and said, you guys look different. Or something. I don't know. But I also saw somewhere else that people were having difficulty ranking who was having the most fun, like LeBron, Cavs fans, or Lakers fans. So apparently, Lakers fans on Twitter were just enjoying the shit out of this game, knowing that it was Paul Pierce's retirement. So you have to respect the petty there. That's pretty.
Oh yeah, I enjoy it.
Oh man, that made me so happy. Just making them sit there and have to, and the fans had to sit through that too. They had to sit and watch. They had to sit
yes.
the entire beatdown. Oh, another point: the Celtics have the number one defense in the league. We scored the most points in them all season.
Yes.
Today, in 21. I mean, that's pretty good.
We're not catching them in the standings, but we also have the tiebreak on them now.
That's true. Yeah, I don't even care about the standings. I'd rather beat them on the road. I made this point before. I have no fear in the Eastern Conference, at least, about not having the home court advantage. They should not worry about that. They should just worry about getting better as a team.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Patty. Coming out of the All-Star break, we have a pretty easy schedule.
We hit the hardest part of our schedule just now, which is why we're so far down. But I couldn't believe, by the way, when this was all said and done, someone said that the Cavs are in third place. I'm like, we're still in fucking third?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, are we in third? I feel like we've been losing for like a month and a half straight.
Yeah. East is pretty bad.
Whew, boy. Oh, man. Well, that just, you know what? That trade, that game, that was just like I felt like the wind beneath Chetty Osman's hair. Just
Pat's got a new love in his life. Everything's good.
Hitch on my step. I'm in love, Matty. What can I say?
It's quite a feeling, Patty. Enjoy it.
I will. All right. I think that does it for the Cleveland Sports Hour. Yes, Matty?
I think so.
All right. Until next time, this is Matty and Patty saying...
Shoot.